You are now listening to a member of the Disney Podcast family. Head over to Disney Podcast Family on Instagram to see all the latest posts for this show and links to other great Disney podcasts.
Melissa Pilgrim is our choice for your next Disney vacation. You can reach her at amagicalpilgrimage@gmail.com. We thank her for her support.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejados de las
This here's a wild ride in the vista.
When into the doors change.
Main Street. I've got Tammy here this week. She's helping me out as we're going to be talking to our good friend and cast member, Julia Hartlaub. Julia, thank you so much for joining us. Oh my goodness, I didn't unmute your mic. Let's do that again. Thank you for joining us.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
So I'm going to go through this little part about enjoying the show. And after you're done, please go like and subscribe to the show on your podcast app or on YouTube. And more importantly, please go share the show with a family member or a friend. Let them know how much you're enjoying it. We do have new episodes every Tuesday. So we've been doing dream jobs for the last couple of weeks here. Julia, we've been asking people what their dream job is, and I heard from Sent from Disneyland on Instagram, and they said mailman.
Interesting.
And since it says Sent from Disneyland, I'm assuming Disneyland mailman, which I'm not sure how that works.
No idea.
I'm not aware of that one.
I do know that that Disney parks have always had mail service, so they have like the mailbox on Main Street and stuff, and they do, like, you can send mail through there, but I have never seen a mailman coming in and out. They must come real early in the morning, and they send it out, or late at night, but I'm assuming it's early in the morning.
Yeah, I would assume so too. Yeah, I've never heard of one like that, so I thought that is
interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder how many they actually get.
I don't know. We've sent a postcard.
Yeah, we have.
A while back we did that. That was fun.
I think it's so neat.
It is, along with a coconut.
Did send a coconut too.
That is amazing.
You can do that at the Polynesian if you ever want to do that.
Wow, that is so cool. I did not know that.
Yeah.
It's a good souvenir to keep too.
It is, and I think probably with the cost of shipping now, it's up to about $30 to send one.
Okay.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
But I mean, $30 and you can keep it forever.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So send it to your mom.
Yeah, you're like, here, Mom, here's a coconut. But it's Disney, so
there you go.
Disney coconut.
I also heard from David Farber, who said he wants to be a food taster at Disney World. I don't know if that's a thing. I would think that would be part of the chef's duties.
Most likely. That would be my guess. I haven't ever seen on the Disney Careers website of a food taster, but oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
I do that every food festival at Epcot, so I don't know.
Right.
I'm paying them.
Yeah.
All right, so Julia, you've had a few different roles with Disney now, but what would be your dream job?
I'm so sorry. Excuse me. My dream job, I think my main one would be to be an Imagineer with Disney or an animator with the movies. So like doing animation on Pixar or Disney, either one, any of the movies would be amazing. And my like more in park, like involved with the parks role dream job would be to be a VIP tour guide.
I hear that's a very popular.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Having having done a lot of the a few different roles, I've come to understand a lot of what comes with each role and everything, whether I've done it or known a friend who has done it or a fellow peer. I've kind of narrowed it down to VIP tour guide, I think, is what I would absolutely love to do, if not Imagineering or an artist of some kind, an animator.
Awesome. Yeah. Why didn't we think of VIP guide?
I don't know enough of like Disney history to be a VIP tour guide.
Whereas I could ramble all day long. I feel like that's a role that, without not wanting to sound cocky or self-centered or anything like that, I feel like that's a role that would be made for me, just as far as like being so passionate about like Disney and stuff. I don't know.
Awesome.
I feel more comfortable doing that.
So I meant to do this before we hit record, but since we're rolling, people may not know that in your cast member role that you need to sign like an NDA. You can't say certain things about the company, which is kind of common, with any company. Really, you don't give up trade secrets, right? So, if I ask a question that's something that you don't want to talk about, just let me know. And we'll
Okay.
Okay.
You bet.
So I guess I will start with. I don't know what I'm. I just do things
so
run
many things.
and all of a sudden, and it's like, word vomit right there. Okay, so dream job. Let us know your dream job at Disney World, and I will definitely read it on the show next time around. So I'd love to hear what you guys would love to do at Disney World. So I think my question was going to be if you know what the training process is for a tour guide.
I honestly don't. Let me think. I honestly don't, and I don't know how extensive it is. I think that I'm sure that it's probably a week-long training. Usually with other roles, it'll be anywhere from like 3 days to a week long. Maybe for more ones that are more extensive, they do like a couple weeks. Granted, it's 3 days that are spread out over time. Like with Photopass, it was 3 training days, but the third one didn't come until, for me at least, until like 2 months later. But for most people, it comes like a month later. There was just a mix up for me.
Okay. All right.
But with this one, I feel like it would be like 3 days to a week's worth of training days, and then spread out. Like they have to pace you, and then probably do like what Disney calls burn-in shifts. And so they're your first days right out of training, where you're with people, with the guests, but it's your first days. So it's kind of like a grace period time, where they're more aware that it's your first time. So if anything goes wrong, or they have someone that's nearby, maybe, I'm assuming, or with you.
Makes sense.
Maybe you're along for a tour with someone else.
Yeah, like have a couple shadow days, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We have, for some roles, I've found out now through Photopass, actually, that there's what they call, you do shadowing and then reverse shadowing. And so like it says if you're training them.
Okay.
I feel like that would be smart with VIP tour guide. So I wonder if they do that.
And I'm kind of, I guess, thinking about like the extra information you might need to let people know. And I guess I was kind of thinking about like the Main Street tours and the, I know there's the one that goes into the Haunted Mansion and stuff like that. And that's probably a little different than the VIP tour guide, though. Maybe they're not required to have the knowledge that a specific tour guide would be. Yeah,
they have it, the Keys to the Kingdom tour.
Yeah,
that one that you guys said you did that, right?
Mm-mm.
We have never done a tour.
No,
I don't know why I thought that you guys did, but either way, you know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah,
and that one is I don't know if it's a separate role necessarily. It has always seemed like it to me, but I know that it's an extension from guest relations.
Okay.
Tours are always a hard thing when you have kids, I feel like, because you don't want to pay the money for them to do them because they don't care.
Yes.
But you want to give up the time hanging out with them to go do it yourself.
Yeah. When we went to Disneyland, I wanted to do I keep calling it walk in Walt's footsteps, but I think it's a different name now. But they take you down Main Street, and then you get to go into the apartment above the firehouse.
Yes,
And
Disneyland.
yeah, and so I really wanted to do that one, but I couldn't get myself to leave the family long enough to do it. So,
Oh.
and it's only an hour and a half, but
Mhm.
all right. So, you were on here before, and we talked Disney College Program. But let's get some background from you. What brought you to Disney and Disney World, and the career path you're now on?
Yeah. So, like many cast members at Disney, I always wanted to be a cast member or work at Disney, no matter what it looked like, whether it be like in the parks or just something involved with Disney. And I especially always wanted to be an artist with Disney. I didn't know what that specifically looked like, but I just wanted to be an artist with Disney because art is my passion and Disney has always been my passion. So combining the two would be an absolute dream. But getting into working at Disney, I didn't know how I was going to get there and get started, get my foot in with the company until I got to college and found out about the Disney College Program. And as soon as I found out about that, literally on like the welcoming like orientation day, I think at Whitewater, I went to UW Whitewater, so in Wisconsin. And for those listening that haven't heard of it before, but obviously you guys know. But on Planet Purple Day, that's when I found out about the Disney College Program. And I hands down was like, oh, I'm absolutely doing that as soon as I can. And I applied my freshman year and got denied, actually, because I found out that they usually don't take people until you've at least become a sophomore and on. So that you have time to build up your GPA for a year, because they base it off of your GPA a bit too. So, so then I applied again in my sophomore year and got it and did the program in 2015 to date myself. And that started it all.
So old.
I know, I'm just ancient. But it's just crazy because it's already like 9 years ago. That's so scary. And in January, it'll be 10 years, which is wild. But either way, it's really cool. That started it.
COVID's done so much to my time sense. Like,
yes.
2015 doesn't sound like it was that long ago, but
no. Like 2015 just sounds like, 2015.
Yeah.
But it's 2024, and that's so scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that is what started it all. And then I made sure to finish college because I had plenty of people saying, make sure to finish college. And I was like, I know, I want to get the schooling so that I can come back to Disney and be able to have like my background that I need for it. And so I finished school. I did a second program over the summer. They had like a summer alumni internship that you could do, and then finished graduating and did one more program just to get my foot back into the company, because that's the easiest way to get back in with the company, and then extend or transfer into part-time, full-time position.
And you're full-time now?
Yeah. Well, I'm part-time, but picking up pretty much full-time hours.
Oh, okay.
It's a lot easier to have a flexible schedule for outside work things. So you can pick and choose and change your days that you're working. You have your set 3 days that you're most likely guaranteed. Sometimes when we're very highly staffed or overstaffed, then we'll have like 2 days scheduled, but you can pick up hours, of course. So it makes it a lot easier to kind of choose my schedule. Words were not coming to me.
I have that problem. I don't remember earlier in the show. Yeah, awesome. That's quite a ride you've been on. What's your current role now?
My current role is Photopass. So for those listening that aren't sure what that is, because I've realized over time that not everyone has heard of Photopass. It's basically being a photographer in the parks, taking pictures of the guests, whether it's in front of the icons like the castle, the Tree of Life, at each of the parks, taking pictures of guests in front of the icons, as well as with characters. And then there's specialty roles that you can get into as well that I can answer later if you want, but I don't want to get too far into it. But yeah,
Well,
I'm a photographer with Disney.
We're on it now. And I know when you first started, you were working in the hub, which I think a lot of people would say they'd love to take pictures of people in the hub. That was one of my top 10 dream jobs that I mentioned.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about Magic Kingdom, I guess especially that's where your mind goes, is the castle and the statue and everything. So,
yeah.
And the music.
Mm-hmm.
So but that's kind of where you got started with taking pictures, right? But you've moved around, and do you mainly stay at Magic Kingdom then?
Yes. So
Okay.
everyone, for most roles, you have your home park, and then you can pick up at other parks for most roles. Some you're not able to pick up, depending on if it's like a safety critical role or something like that. So for attractions, you can't really pick up. No, not really. You can't. You can't pick up at other parks. But for other roles like Photopass, that is one that you can pick up at other parks. So I've now worked at 3 of the 4 parks. I have yet to work at Animal Kingdom, and I'm trying to. But you have your home park, so 9 times out of 10, pretty much 10 times out of 10, I am at Magic Kingdom.
Okay. Very cool.
It's the best
Yeah.
park anyway.
Huh?
It's the best park anyway.
Yeah. My fiance will not let me change my answer if there's any time where, like, you know, when you're ranking the parks, and I feel like it always fluctuates, like it always moves and changes.
Right.
But my OG answer is always going to be that Magic Kingdom is my favorite. And sometimes I'll change it and say something else, something different. And he'll be like, no, it's Magic Kingdom. I'm like, listen, right now it's not. Okay.
We watched that episode where you guys ranked them, and I think his is Animal Kingdom, right?
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah.
And it's slowly changing to Hollywood Studios. See, it's always changing.
Okay.
Yep. It'll probably change back to Animal Kingdom once the updates are done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is exciting. So
exciting. There's so many updates coming. I love it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's step back to the college program really quick.
Yeah.
My sister did the college program many moons ago, and would not recommend it to anyone, but I know you've been there 3 times, and so I imagine you would recommend it. So give me some positive thoughts around college program.
You bet. So, where to start? It's an incredible experience, even if you are not planning on continuing with the company after a college program, just doing one internship. They last a semester long, and it's such a neat experience to be able to, 1, experience something outside of the college norm, 2, to meet tons of people. And I don't just mean tons of people like from different states. It's tons of people from around the world. And I think that is so incredible. I mean, I've met people and made friends with people from China, one from Japan, some from Australia and New Zealand,
Wow.
a couple from Thailand, just all over. It's UK, like it's amazing.
And these are people you worked with?
Huh?
These are people you've worked with?
Most that I've worked with, and some that I've met through other friends, like / coworkers and friends that they've met. So one of my friends, he worked, like when I did custodial, that was one of the roles I did, for those that don't know. And I worked at Future World in Epcot at the time. Now, or for a chunk of time after COVID, they combined it into all just Epcot custodial. And I think they've split it back up, Future World and World Showcase. But you can pick up anywhere. That's another role. You can do any park, any spot. But the neat thing about being in World Showcase custodial was that, I mean, being in custodial in general, you have plenty of time to talk with guests and other cast members, which I absolutely loved. And one of my friends got really close with a lot of people in Norway because you have like a certain area that you usually work. And he got very close with a lot of Norwegian friends. And it was just so neat that, like, so then I met some of them, and, you know, you meet people sometimes through others, but a lot of them I worked with personally.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I never even thought about that piece of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is such a neat thing too that I've always loved, is that it keeps it so authentic. Having friends from other countries working in their country in Epcot too, not always, but sometimes. And I think that's so neat.
It
Because
is.
now you have all these places you can go visit with all these people that you know there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
right?
have a friend recently that I've become so close with, and she's actually, I look at her as like a mom, because she's so precious. And she's just so funny and so sweet, and we've gotten so close, and she's from Thailand, and I've learned so much from her, and vice versa. And I don't know, it's so wonderful. You learn so much, and so many sweet people. So I find that so fun. And then guests from all over the world. So, okay, getting back to the college program. Anyway, I could go on and on about things. But
That's okay.
working the college program, not only meeting so many people, like I just said, but you get so many really neat experiences. If you are someone who is passionate about Disney, it's an incredible one-of-a-kind experience. You get to be a cast member. You get to go to the parks for free. You get to experience the magic firsthand. A lot of times you get to create the magic for guests. For me, that was something that I always wanted to do, because what solidified me wanting to work for the company was my own magical moment that I experienced from a cast member. I was younger, and I worked I don't remember if I told this on the last podcast episode.
I don't think you did.
I don't feel like you did.
Yeah.
My family was at City Hall, and I now know, like, they were at guest relations figuring out something. But at the time I knew it was City Hall, and that was about it. But we're waiting in the front, and I think because it was such a long line, they were just kind of trying to preoccupy kids and stuff in line. And so this cast member was talking to us, one of the guest relations cast members, and he, I don't know how it got on the subject, but I said that I've always wanted to work at Disney. And he said, okay. And I just remembered that he came back with, the restaurant vacuums that are like cordless, soundless, like they're not electric. They're just, they roll over and suck things up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what those are called, really. But it was one of those, and he hands it to me. And now I'm like, thinking back, I'm like, this man had me do his job for him. Like he got away with it. But thinking of it in the magic Disney sense, it was so neat, because he had me, like, I vacuumed one of the rugs in City Hall in the guest relations building. And afterward, he was like, well, there you go. You were a cast member. And it was just such a neat little magical moment. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I was young enough that I was like so excited. Like I just did that.
Yeah.
And it just, and now growing up and realizing more of it and thinking back on it, I'm like, it was just the simplest thing, but it made my day. Still to this day, remembering it, it's stuck out to me and is part of what made me want to work for the company. I mean, it was something so simple and made me want to work for the company. So it's really neat, and you never know how much it'll affect someone. And so it's really special getting to create those magical moments for guests. So it's really neat doing the college program, and you get to experience that. And you not only get to do all that, but you also get to, usually most schools will let you still get credits while you're down doing the program. You complete the program, you've gotten credits for toward your semester that you were gone. So it's such a win-win experience. It's so worth it in my eyes. Something that you could never say you experienced anywhere else. I mean, putting that on your resume immediately shoots you up to the top. Like that is something that is so good looking on your resume too. I mean, that helps you alone too. Even if you just want it for an experience one time, and then it helps you further along in a different role that you want to do, a different job.
Well, and I know Disney has been studied and written about, and business books are written about how the Disney way, how Disney handles a lot of different things. So I imagine there's a lot of people out there that hire and they see, that you work for Disney and you have that background and that sticks out to them. And also, I think you've highlighted it quite well that, cast members are what make the magic in Disney. It's not, Disney, but it's the cast members. So thank you for being a cast member and doing that for everyone.
You're welcome, of course.
And thank you to all your coworkers as well. I don't know if the Disney community does enough sometimes to take care of the cast members. So, next time you guys are in a park, definitely say thank you to the nearest cast member. So,
oh, that's greatly appreciated. We definitely appreciate it. There are some not so magical days, of course. I mean, you're going to have that with anything in life. And
sure.
It goes a long way when someone says thank you, goes out of their way, appreciates something small, big, whatever it may be. It means a lot. And it definitely does not go unnoticed or unappreciated. We always appreciate it, and it means a lot. Or if you get, little trinkets given to you from a guest or a family, those also are not just little trinkets. Like, they mean a lot. It is something that family took the time and care to put, like, the effort into, showing how much they appreciate us, and it means a lot. So I have tubs of different trinkets and gifts, things that I've gotten from guests. I don't throw them away. I mean, they're really special. They mean a lot.
That's so good to hear. I saw somebody post the other day that cast members can't do anything with it. They'll just throw them away. They have to throw them away is what it was. And I was like, no, I don't think that's the case.
Nope. You can keep it. We are allowed to get gifts as long as it is under a certain dollar amount.
Okay.
I don't want to quote it because I don't remember what the exact amount is, but I know it's under $100. That, like, we can't accept anything over that, but I don't think I would ever get something like that. Yeah, I haven't, but nonetheless, like, it is not about how much it costs or anything like that. I mean, I've gotten friendship bracelets from kids that are prized possessions of mine. Are you kidding? That's how little of money, and it means it's priceless.
That's awesome.
Those are special to me.
That was one thing that popped into my head because obviously they're popular right now with that certain singer-songwriter that's out there, but
that is amazing.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of people, to the point where they had to create a rule in the Disney Look guide. Like, there's an actual Disney Look book guideline, and we can't have more than one friendship bracelet on each wrist because people were stacking them, and it was so we can keep them on a clip on our belt, but that's about it. So, but you can do like trading and stuff, and it is so special.
That's fun.
That's very cool.
I never even thought about the trading piece of it.
No.
It's like the trading pins, like, it's a whole nother level.
Yeah, it is. It really I know that I've.
True. We should think about that for October. Mia would probably love making them.
I think she would.
Finding people to give them to. Yeah.
Like Halloween ones. Oh, there are so many cast. Like, we get scheduled the. My goodness, I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
We get scheduled the Halloween shifts. However, a lot of people desperately try and pick up the shifts. Like, I know I'm trying to, but they are a hot commodity to work the parties, and because they are so much fun, fun. So they are very in-demand shift to work, and it's so fun when you get like Halloween themed bracelets, or like you're complimenting everyone's costumes and like having so much fun. Like, it is such a joy. So that'd be cool. You guys should definitely do something like that.
We're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Even if it's like a little card, like a little message, like, it's just fun.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that kids have been trading with other kids too. So.
Yeah, I've seen kids doing that.
Yeah. We'll have to do that. I like that idea. And Mia, like you said, Mia will enjoy making them too. Give her something to do other than that darn phone.
Yeah, there you go. See, this is good.
Any other tips on like how the process works for a college program?
Yeah.
I
Granted, I don't know if things have changed a little bit. The last program I applied for was back in 2017 going into 2018. So it might have changed a little bit by now. But how it was for me, at least at the time, was you apply on the Disney College Program website, and then you do a phone interview. And then if you make it, well, no, first you do a online like questionnaire thing, and that's like your first interview pretty much. And then after if you get past that step, then you do a phone interview, and that's usually where like they really get into what roles, like dream roles you'd want. I know I mentioned my top 3 roles and ranked them. And then they ask like the other questions. They give you some scenario-based questions, how you would respond to things, safety-wise and other things like that.
Okay.
You know, is there more than one Mickey? No, there's not. There's just one, the one and only Mickey Mouse.
Yes.
And all of that kind of stuff. And then you play the really long waiting game of constantly refreshing your emails over and over and over every day, waiting for the acceptance email. And and then you do it for either a regular semester long or the extension, the semester extension program. And that's the one actually that I did the first time. So it goes a little bit extra few months, either like into the summer starting out or at the end of the semester that you do it. It goes
so
instead of like
if you
5
did a
semesters, you
fall,
can go like 6 or 7.
Okay. I was gonna say like, so if you did fall, you would start like now and you would move into December and maybe it would carry over into January. Is that what an extension is like?
Yeah. So like for the spring, because I did the it's called the Spring Advantage program. So the Advantage is the extension part of it. And mine was from the middle of January until the beginning of June.
Okay.
But other people, theirs ended, like went January to middle or beginning of May. So it usually is like an extra month, maybe 2 months added on, but it's usually like an extra month and a half.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's a very anxious experience, like applying and waiting. You wait for so long. They make you wait for a while usually. But it's an exciting experience nonetheless. I still remember with my first program, when I found out and saw the email, I was in an art class and whatever project we were working on, I was in the zone with that. So I was listening to music, and I was listening to Disney music at the time. And I usually wasn't, but I was listening to Disney music at this point, classics. And I was listening specifically to When You Wish Upon a Star. And I got the email.
Oh my
and
goodness.
I like squealed and ran out and went to one of the computers and like looked it up and everything. I was so excited. Called my mom and dad, like so excited. I'll never forget that.
I'm sure you won't. That's a wow.
Story, yeah.
Like such a special. Yeah. I was
Right?
like, what are the odds?
So now that you're in the company, if you want to change roles, do you just apply like you would any other type of job or?
Yes. So one thing actually bridging from going back a little bit to college program too with roles. So you have this is the part where I don't know if you can give your top 3 anymore or if you just give, your 1 or 2. But when you talk about those, that doesn't mean that you're guaranteed one of those 3. But usually more so than not, you do get one of those 3 roles. And a lot of times they align it to your past experiences. So my first role was with like performing, but that was something separate. Like I had to audition. Then my second role was quick service food and beverage because I had a lot of past experience at restaurants because that's usually how kids get started into the working field. But you stay in that role, and how it used to be was toward the end of your program, you got an email saying, would you like to extend your program? And you can do another semester long. And now I found out that like they've switched it to you have to give your answer and if you're going to extend or not within like a month or 2 into your program, which I think is a little interesting because it doesn't give them enough time to realize or decide if they want to extend or not, and once you make the decision, you're kind of stuck in it a little bit. But you can extend your program, and you can extend into a different role. So you can switch into something else and request something else, or you can stay in your role. And then for me now, like you just go into, there's like once you're a cast member, you can do an internal transfer. So they have like an internal hub, like transfer hub.
Okay. Is your goal still to try to get into like the animation or Imagineering at some point?
Yeah, I would really like to. I had taken a bit of a pause on doing meet and greets and trying to make the connections, but I'm wanting to get back into it now. I wanted to just take some time to experience and enjoy Photopass on its own. And now that I've gotten to experience it for a couple of years, I'm wanting to start doing those meet and greets, making connections again with Imagineers and artists alike, and be able to try and eventually move my way to that.
So I have to ask, when you say meet and greets, are these things that are set up or just like opportunities you find to meet somebody?
Yeah, they are set up. So you can, usually it's through like knowing someone, and they connect you with someone else. They recommend you, and they let them know, hey, I'm giving this person your email. They'll be contacting you at some point. And then you email them and say, I'd like to set up a one-on-one with you, a meet and greet. A lot of times, I don't know if most companies do this or not, but I know Disney, I don't know if it's just a Disney term or not, but they call it a meet and greet, but it is basically like a one-on-one, getting to, ask them their advice and, their experiences with their role. And if they know anyone, any connections that they can give you from there, just getting to work your way a little bit more into what you're wanting to do.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they had an official thing going on like that either. That's
and
exciting.
they have this, I'm trying to think what I can say or not say. You do have the opportunity sometimes to be able to reach out to someone and find their email. However, it's not necessarily always recommended, because then you're just, how do they get my email kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's better to have like a formal like introduction or connection, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get where you want to go, and be ambitious. So there is that way too. And just as long as you're respectful about it, reaching out to someone, be like, hello, I am very interested in this XYZ. Is there any chance you'd be willing to do a meet and greet with me at your earliest convenience? I would love to, pick your brain about what you do and yada, yada.
So many things.
It's so helpful. Hey, the more you know.
Well, and I've listened to a lot of different podcasts that talk about, because a lot of people will say, I want to be an Imagineer. And, and I know that you have spent a lot of time thinking about this at this point. So I know you're honed in on what that means, but I think what a lot of people, when they say that, don't realize how general of a term that's become for Disney. And so when somebody says that and I want to become an Imagineer, there's so many different avenues to go, and there's so many different ways to get there. So to hear this, like this actually, from what you've said, this actually gives somebody an idea of what it takes.
Absolutely.
And like it's not a certain field of study that you need to do, but maybe it's just the ladder you need to climb.
Yep. Who the connections you make, and when you make those connections and you do those one-on-ones, you learn, like you can show some of them, sometimes like you can show them your work. Like I have done, one of them was an interview, and one of them was like picking their brain, like doing a one-on-one. And I showed my portfolio at more so an interview, I would say, but some of them, like you can talk about your work or show a little bit of your work, and they can if they're willing, and if you mention it ahead of time, they can tell you like what you should make sure that you also have, or, things that you should make sure you do or have or prepare for before going into it that you might not have known about,
Mm-hmm.
So it really gives you that advice and the things that you need in order to check all the boxes to get where you want to go. It's really helpful. And Disney, a lot of times, is the more people you know, the better. The more connections you have, the better chances of getting where you want to go as well.
I feel like that's life in general too.
Absolutely.
Who you know, not always what you know.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, so I mean, we've gotten really into the weeds here with a lot of career advice. Wasn't fully expecting to go that deep, but I do love it. I think this has been amazing.
Yeah, sorry, I rambled.
No, you're fine. Like I said, like we just told somebody the best way to get a job at Disney. So
yeah, there is. Okay, one more thing, if you don't mind, too.
Absolutely.
When we were talking about college program stuff, one thing I forgot to mention too, if anyone is listening that is wanting to do a college program, one thing to remember too, when you're doing this, has always stuck out to me, and it really truly is important. You can notice the difference when you're on the phone interview and you're talking with the cast member. It seems so simple, but make sure that you are smiling when you're talking to them, because you can hear the difference in their voice, and it's something that they listen for and notice. So right now I'm talking and I'm not smiling, and now I'm smiling and you can hear it in my voice. Like, it just changes a little bit, and they can hear and sense the passion and the smile, and it really does help. And it also relaxes you a bit. It helps you. So just a little big piece of advice.
I've told my kids that as they've, we've got the two older kids for any interview. Yeah. We've told them, like, on the phone, just smile while you're talking.
I remember saying that even like during COVID when we were getting pictures taken, like at Disney with our masks on. It's like, you still need to smile. Like you can even tell like in your eyes and just like how you're standing, if you're smiling or not smiling.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And your eyes and your body language and everything, like you can tell.
I was actually just watching back the video of the last podcast I recorded and noticed that I do this a lot, and I just talk and I try to sound interesting, but I'm working on that. So
it's something you don't notice, and then once it comes out, you're like, oh wow.
So yeah, always improving, always trying to get just a little bit better each time. So.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me give that tidbit.
Yeah. All right. I feel like I need to ask this because we're going soon and there are so many people that do go. So what type of magic shots should we be looking out for? What are the really special ones?
Yes. Okay. So specifically at Magic Kingdom, to look out for is hold on one second. I'm so sorry. My dog whining and crying outside. She really wanted to join us. So some big magic shots at Magic Kingdom is on Main Street specifically. Okay. So there are certain magic shots around the park that are only at certain locations. Some of them are at a few certain locations, and some of them are only at like one location. So on Main Street, there is the dancing skeletons. I don't know if you guys have done that one before.
I think I've seen that. We need to get that one.
We haven't done that.
So fun. Make sure to do that. The dancing skeletons. It is so neat. It turns your photo black and white, and you're dancing, and there's literally dancing skeletons from that original Disney animation.
Yes.
In the photo, and it's so cool. I love that one. Another one is the oh my gosh, Spooky Vintage. And for those that are like watching the video, you go like this. So you make like a TP with your hands, and then you like do a spooky look, like a maniacal look. And then there's the flaming pumpkin. What?
I said maniacal laugh. That's
maniacal laugh. Yes. And that's when you know you're a Disney fan. Or as we like to call ourselves, Disney nerds.
Yeah.
But another one is the Flaming Pumpkin, and that one is really fun.
Okay, so let me back up. The skeletons are right on, when you say on Main Street, we're talking like right on Main Street.
On Main Street.
And
Once
then,
it's anywhere from the beginning of like it's the buildings. So between the confectionery to Casey's Corner.
okay.
So
And
anywhere
then,
in there.
okay. And then the maniacal laugh one, spooky vintage.
Spooky vintage.
Where would I find that one?
Main Street.
Main Street. Okay. And the flaming pumpkin is there as well.
That one I believe is on Main Street, and it's also in the hub areas. But one thing to know is you can always ask any Photopass cast member what location a magic shot is in. So like, do you have this magic shot? And it's okay, you don't need to know the name, you can just describe it. So Flaming Pumpkin, like they're gonna know what you're talking about. Or there's the cauldron. There's a specific name for it, but it doesn't matter. The cauldron one, and they have you positioned like you are, doing some spell into the cauldron, and they add the cauldron at the bottom of the picture. That one's really cool too. And then there's also the Halloween. That one is on at the Hub Grass, I believe. So right after the ice cream parlor.
Yeah. Okay.
Another one, I just forgot it. Oh, the Halloween moon, where it has it's the Oogie Boogie. His like shadow is in the moon.
Yeah.
And that one's black and white. But then so that's all in like the Main Street specifically, and then like hub area.
So are any of those party specific, or can you get those at any time?
Those are pretty much all party specific.
Okay.
Another party specific one is going to be over behind the carousel. If you go behind there is a Maleficent magic shot. If you go over to the Haunted Mansion area during a party, there's the Hitchhiking Ghosts. It's a more special one. And then there's also the Caretaker. You get like a prop and you're holding a lamp and you have like the Haunted Mansion behind you, and it's really cool looking, eerie looking. Those are all Halloween party specific. Ones that are not, that are more like fall themed and Halloween themed, you can do the Fall Tinkerbell. That one's really cute. There's throwing leaves. So there's a pile of leaves underneath you, and then you're throwing leaves up into the air, and Pluto is playing in the pile of leaves. It's so cute.
That one sounds cute.
You got to do that one. That one is over by Sleepy Hollow.
Okay.
And then you can also do the Fall Confetti magic shot. And that one has like, it's just like fall colors and fall leaves. And you're blowing the confetti, and the fall / Halloween themed balloons. Those are some really good ones.
We have one of Mia blowing the Valentine's Day themed confetti. That's one of our favorite pictures of her from Disney.
That's my lock screen on my phone. She saw it the other day and she went, "You still have that on there?" I'm like, "Yes, I do."
Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, being a Photopass photographer, that's really neat to hear that, because you always wonder like what meant a lot to someone, or like what they've saved, what they framed on their mantle, stuff like that. Like, yeah, it's always neat to hear the other side of it. So
maybe cool. After the show we'll do a slideshow for you.
Yeah. I love that stuff. I like when people post it and share it on like Facebook and stuff, and we kind of go creeping and look for it and everything. Use the hashtags. It's really fun. Then we can look and see the photos and see what stuck out to people.
So what are the popular, I'm terrible with hashtags, so like hashtag Photopass, or what are we looking for?
Yep, you can do hashtag Magic Kingdom, Magic Kingdom, MK Photopass.
Okay.
Or just Photopass. Another one you could do is hashtag DPI. That's like Photopass's like acronym. It's digital photo imaging. But mainly Photopass is a good hashtag, because then it's just like general. Or you can do like MK Photopass, and that way we can find like specific to park. So if it's Animal Kingdom Photopass, or DAK Photopass, that's Animal Kingdom, stuff like that. DHS, Disney's Hollywood Studios, Photopass.
All them acronyms.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Epcot is just its own acronym already. So
Yeah, we still try to find a way to shorten it. I don't know.
yeah, right.
EP. And I felt the need to correct you, and I didn't, but I'm going to say it now. It's no longer Future World. So
I know. I know.
I wanted to throw in there like it's World Celebration, but it's not like just World Celebration, because there's like, instead of just having 2 pieces of the park, and it's like now we have 4, I think is how it's broke up. So
it's so weird to get used to, just like
it is
changing from Fast Pass to Lightning Lane. The amount of time it took me to change my brain for that.
And now we don't use Genie Plus.
Yeah.
Or because you're old, when they changed from MGM to Hollywood Studios. I mean,
the other day I still said to someone MGM. I'm not kidding. I was like,
there are people that will swear by it will always call it MGM. So
yeah. Yep. There are certain people, and they're lucky that I know what that is, so I can still answer their question.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Julia, for all of this great information. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah. You can always ask also, like, if there's more than just the ones I've mentioned for specifically magic shots. You can always ask Photopass, and they'll usually be more than happy to answer all the different magic shots and stuff. It's a lot of fun. Magic shots are great.
They are. Those are, I think, mostly our favorites.
Yeah. There's there's so many that I have. Like, I have one of the girls holding the Rapunzel lantern. That's like my favorite.
It's such a cool shot.
I guess my favorite one of you and Jacob isn't a magic shot.
But it was magic, let me tell you.
It's a really good picture.
2 of us are standing in front of the Falcon, and we're like staring off into the distance
with their arms like crossed, like looking off into the distance.
Oh,
yeah, it's a great picture of us. So
I love that. I wish I could work at Galaxy's Edge, but you have to be specially trained for it.
Well, yeah. First of all, you need to care about Star Wars, right?
Yeah. Which is why I'm going to leave it to those that are really passionate about Star Wars, because I respect the Star Wars community. However, I don't know much about Star Wars, so I will leave it to those that would be perfect in that area.
Well, let's have a discussion here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would like to go to bed at some point. We don't have time for that. Remember, it's later there.
I know it is. Yeah. I do appreciate you staying up for us.
Yes, of course.
All right, guys. Remember, episodes every Tuesday. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. And we want to know your dream job. So we'll read them on the show if you let us know. You can use the text we've got in our show notes. Send us a text and let us know. Put them in the comments on YouTube. Whatever you need to do, just let us know. And we would love to read them on the show. But as we like to say, some live close,
but others don't.
So let's talk about it. We'll see you next time on Miles from Main Street.